Welcome to the Impact Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Beck, founder of The Sales Activist. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics. And that topic is resetting your sales success mindset. Look, we are at this point already past halfway through this year. Now's the time to be looking at everything that you're doing. If you're not on track to meet your sales objectives, you need to be reevaluating everything. And I will tell you that the number one place to start is in your mindset. Do you have the right sales success mindset to finish the year strong, accomplish your goals, and be on track for what you want the year to look like? So today, we're going to break down how you reset your sales success mindset, the importance of doing that. It happens from time to time. You need to do it. So we're going to spend some time on how to reset that sales success mindset and get you back on track towards meeting your sales objectives. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. This is Joe Beck, founder of The Sales Activist. And today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite topics, and it's resetting that sales success mindset. You know, for you to be successful in sales, whether you are selling for yourself, whether you are the owner of your own business or enterprise, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a coach, a consultant, a fractional executive, or even if you're selling for somebody else's business, you need to have the right sales success mindset. And from time to time, that mindset needs to be reset. And what do I mean by that? Well, from time to time, things get misaligned with what it is that you're doing and how things are working. Look, you know, as human beings, we have a variety of different challenges that we face, different obstacles, responsibilities. So it's not at all uncommon for our mindset to go through a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Sometimes things are running smoothly. Sometimes our mindset is perfect and right on point, but other times it's not. So today we're going to be digging into how you reset your sales success mindset. Now, over my 35 plus year career in sales and business development, I've been blessed to have worked with a lot of amazing individuals and teams and companies. And the companies that always were performing at a very high level, they always took the time, energy, and focus around looking at how their salespeople were doing and determining if their heads were still in the game, their mindset was still right. So today, we're going to unpack how they went about doing that, how I go about working with people in that process, and, you know, the process that you go through to reset yourself. And it really starts by understanding what the right sales success mindset should be and never losing sight of it. Now, it does not mean that you're always going to be dialed in and laser focused on it. It means that you don't lose focus on why it is the most important mindset to have, why you focus on those things, so that if you do get a little off track, you find it very easy to shift yourself back to what that looks like. So let's unpack that. So the right sales success mindset should be one about service. It should be one about helping people accomplish what they are trying to accomplish. Look, if you're listening to this and you're thinking that sales success mindset is all about having a positive mental attitude and, you know, I'm going to ask often, I'm going to close constantly, I'm going to be focused exclusively on generating new business and think that's the mindset that's going to lead you to success, I hate to burst your bubble, but that's just not going to happen. The way you maintain the right sales success mindset is to make it all about your prospects, all about your clients, their needs, their goals, helping them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. It's all about creating massive impact and positive shifts for them. Like the old adage says, if you help enough people find what they're looking for, you'll find what you're looking for. Well, a lot of times people's sales success mindset gets out of alignment simply because they become overwhelmed with their own stuff, right? Life takes over. Bills, responsibilities, family stuff, market conditions, all of these things impact us as it relates to how we view what we're doing. And it can impede and it obviously impact our mindset. So the hardest thing for you to be able to do is to overcome all of those things and not have your mindset take a hit. One of the worst things that any sales professional or individual in selling can tell themselves is that it's do or die. They need to perform, because that pressure that you put on yourself tends to change how you do things. Even if you are a seasoned sales expert, somebody that's been producing sales for a very long time, if you find yourself under pressure, and that pressure could come from any source, if you find yourself under pressure, it will change how you respond. It will change how you operate. It will change your mindset. So the way you go about not losing focus as well as resetting that mindset is to remind yourself that you're there as a servant to the needs of your prospects and clients. You're there to help them accomplish what they are looking for. If you've been following this podcast, if you've been following any of my content, you probably have heard me say this next statement before. But the reality is, as it relates to your offering, your product, your service, whatever it is that you bring to the world, I hate to burst your bubble, but people don't care. They don't care. They don't care about your offering. They don't care about what service you provide. They don't care about you. They don't care about all of those things. Now, I don't mean to sound like or mean that they're insensitive and they don't care about you. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, you are secondary to what is more important to them, which is what your product, service, or offering could do to impact their life, their world. See, if you think it's all about you and you put the emphasis in your mindset about you and your stuff and your offering, you're going to find that it becomes very, very easy to become disengaged from what your clients need most. But if you are able to maintain the right sales success mindset and focus on the things that are most important, your prospect success, your clients' results, the impact that it has on them, all of those things, you will find that you will maintain alignment with your goals more consistently. When people lose touch with the right sales success mindset, it puts pressure on them. It puts pressure on them because they feel like they're behind their goals. They're behind their responsibilities. They aren't meeting and exceeding what they need to be meeting and exceeding in their role or their particular objective. And the reality is, what they should be thinking about is helping their clients accomplish more, helping their prospects accomplish more. But for the purposes of today's episode, we want to talk about your individual sales success mindset from a reset standpoint. So if you find yourself in that situation, maybe you're well behind your sales objectives for the year right now, you are struggling to get to where you want to go sales wise, and it just seems like you're getting farther and farther behind, I encourage you to start with the basics. Reset your sales success mindset. And you reset it by analyzing and digging into what your clients get most from the work that you do. Take a pen and paper, write it down, write the things down, or open up a document and start typing all of the things that your clients get from the work that you do. Make a list of what those things are. Then, next to that list, make a list of the impact that those things have on your clients. So the first list is specifically what they get from the work that you do. What is it that you deliver? The second is, what impact does it have on them? Now, when I say what impact does it have on them, you may need to extrapolate a little bit on that. You may need to think through some scenarios a little bit, but go with what you know and assume a little bit, but have a really good understanding of what your clients get from the work that you do, and most importantly, the impact that it has. Now, the reason that is super important to your success and particularly to helping you reset your sales success mindset is you need to immerse yourself again or re-immerse yourself into what means the most to your prospects and your clients. And the reason you need to do that is it is in perfect alignment with the proper sales success mindset for you to be thinking about them more than you, for you to be focused about what they accomplish and the impact that it has on them. Too many times people lose touch of those things and they are almost going through the paces of the activity that they're generating towards accomplishing their goal. And I want you to be honest with yourself. If you're listening to this episode, I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to close your eyes for a minute and think about the last time that you were in a really bad sales spot. You weren't generating the sales you wanted to generate. You were behind on your goals. You were feeling the pressure. The bills were piling up. All of these things are impacting you, right? And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to honestly ask yourself, when you were going through that, and if you're going through that right now, this is even more important for you to do. When you were going through that time period, what were you thinking about most as you were working on proposals, projects, and offerings for your clients? Were you thinking about what impact it was going to have on them and their life and their results and their business and their families? Or were you thinking about, oh my gosh, I am so desperately in need of making a sale here. I need to get this deal across. What adjustments do I need to make in the terms? Could I make it easier for them to make a buying decision? Could I make the barrier to entry to work with me lower? Because I really need to get a sale. I really need to get something across the finish line. Where were you thinking? Were you thinking about what they were going to get? Or were you immersed in all of the different things about what you need to change to make the sale? And if you were thinking about all the things you need to change to make the sale, if you were thinking about how badly you needed that deal to close and you need to think ahead of what you might need to do, I'm not saying you don't want to be prepared. What I am saying is you are looking at the wrong side of the equation. And the challenge that people face when they are in a position where they are behind their goals is it becomes very natural and comfortable to fall into that mode of thinking about, okay, if this doesn't close, then I need to go to the next one. I need to get that one to close. And if that doesn't happen, I need these three other prospects to close. I need one of those to close. Or here's my pipeline and I have 10 opportunities. I need 3 of these to turn into proposals so I can turn one of them into closes, right? Well, where in any of that have you really opened up about the impact that the work you has on your client? Where has that happened? And I share that in this episode because resetting your sales success mindset around driving sales forward is all about being realistic as to where your highest likelihood for success may lie. And here's what I mean by that. If you go into a sales interaction, if you go into a phone call, Zoom call, an in-person meeting, a follow-up meeting, a proposal call, whatever it is with your prospect or client, if you go into that meeting with the mindset that you need to figure out what you need to do to get the deal closed, or this is one of 3 prospects, and if you don't get this one, you've got to get one of the other 2, or oh my gosh, my pipeline is falling apart. One of these things has to come across the finish line. If you're thinking about all of that, you are not thinking about your client's best interests. Now, I'm not saying you're not caring about your client best interest. I'm saying the alignment is off. The alignment is off. You're not thinking about specifically the greatest impact on your success, which is theirs. Meaning, if you are able to show them massive impact that you're going to have on whatever it is that you are doing for them, if you are able to show them that and it is life changing, it changes their business, it changes their finances, it changes their life, do you think it's going to be that hard to sell if it's that good? Of course not. But too many times people get caught up and wrapped up into what they need, how they need to do it. Now, look, as human beings, that's natural. Okay. But part of what makes people elite sales professionals that perform at a very high level, I will tell you this, it is when they operate their business in a way that they never have to significantly shift their sales success mindset. Why? Because it's dialed in exactly where it should be. It's about providing massive value and impact to their client. They focus on that. If that doesn't happen, nothing else matters. And if it doesn't happen for this prospect or client, it needs to happen for the next one. The primary is always your client. The secondary is your need. Now, I know and I understand the realities of today, the financial responsibilities, the business responsibilities, family responsibilities. There's pressure from every single angle. But what I'm going to tell you is once you allow those pressures to change how you are communicating with people, it only makes sales more difficult. It only makes it more difficult. And it's so important that you reset your sales success mindset. So making those lists is very, very important. Exactly what you can do to add value for your client and then the impact that it can have. Now, I also want you to really drill down on that impact that it can have part of the list, because that tells you all the positive ways that what you do can impact your client, your prospect, and it will keep those things top of mind in your interaction. Now, why is that important? Well, because it keeps you grounded around what's most important. Some of the other things that you can do to reset your sales success mindset. I know you guys have heard this before, but it is so, so true. Stop selling and start listening. Stop selling and start listening, meaning sometimes when people are going through challenging sales cycles or situations, they oversell. They oversell. And maybe you've done this for yourself, or maybe you've seen it happen, or maybe you've heard of it happening, but they oversell. They spend too much time talking, too much time selling, too much time convincing. I will tell you this. If you have to convince somebody that working with you is going to have a massively positive impact on their success, you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it the wrong way. If you have to convince them, you've done something wrong. Now, that doesn't mean you don't sell. It just means that you sell a different way. You sell focusing around the impact that it has on them. They see it. It's obvious. You don't have to convince somebody. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be challenges, budgetary challenges, terms and conditions, all these circumstances you have to balance, but it keeps you aligned on the most important things. You should always be listening and not selling. Listen more than you sell. And when I say listen, I don't just mean hear what your prospects and clients are saying. As it relates to your sales success mindset, the trick is listen to really understand. Listen to really understand what they are saying. Good news, bad news, neutral news, whatever it is, make sure you understand exactly what your prospect or client is saying. If you aren't sure, ask them point blank. One of the mistakes that people make, and I see this happen often, is their mindset gets out of whack because they think they know the reasons why things are happening. They make assumptions about the reasons why things are happening, and they keep plowing ahead. They keep pushing. They keep selling instead of just asking for a clarification, asking a simple question like, help me understand, or could you clarify something for me? ask those questions because sometimes it will give you an open door into what you really need to know about what the next step should look like. So when you're resetting your sales success mindset, you're shifting the focus around a number of things. You're shifting the focus around how you think. Obviously, it is your mindset. You're going to make it all about that person, whether they're a prospect or whether they are a new client and you're working with them, or an existing client that you're going back to. You're going to make it all about them. But secondarily, you're going to be doing certain things, and this helps you reset your mindset. You're going to stop selling and you're going to start listening more. Now, why is that important? It just underlines what I just said about making it all about your prospect or your client. If you spend all your time selling, talking to them about what it is that you do, convincing them about the impact it will have, you're going to find that it's all about you and not about them. Some of the most impactful sales relationships I've created over 35 years have been relationships that were founded on the basis of just solid communication, solid questions, thoughtfulness about what was discussed, and then a simple offer combined with simple dialogue back and forth about the impact it would have. There wasn't any convincing necessary. I've seen multi-million-dollar deals closed with a very few questions, and I've also seen $100 deal have 20 questions because the person that was selling was doing everything the wrong way. They didn't give any control or any priority emphasis to the client. So it's so important when you are resetting your mindset that you truly look at the things that you're thinking and doing, making sure that you're focused around their needs, making sure that you aren't selling, that you're listening more than you're selling. And the reason for that is maybe not obvious, but I will tell you it's clear. The more they talk, the more you learn. The more they talk, the more you learn. If your prospects, your clients aren't telling you anything, they aren't sharing anything, they aren't opening up about things, what do you think you're going to use when it comes time to try to move forward? What thought process do you think they will be using? Do you have any idea really what they're thinking? No. So when you're going to reset your sales success mindset, make sure that you focus the communication side of things to have your prospect and your client doing most of the communicating themselves, talking more. The other reason for that, it gives you an automatic opportunity to catch your breath in the middle of a sales interaction, to catch your breath and think about what's really most important to them. See, too many times people get so laser focused, they get tunnel vision on what it is they want to talk about and what it is they want to say and how they want to propose it and what they want to say if the prospect mentions one thing, or they have it all mapped out, which is great. I'm a big fan of preparation. But what is missing in that scenario is it's all about the salesperson, the person talking, instead of it being the other way around. And I'll give you a quick example, and I'm going to use the analogy of that tunnel vision. If your prospect, your client, is very focused on one particular thing or one particular area of your offering because it does a certain type of thing for them and it gives them a certain impact, but you never hear that from them because you spend all of your time talking through how amazing your product or offering is, how do you know to focus on that? How do you know that's a hot button for them? How do you know that that's something that could truly trigger a buying decision? You may never know. You may never uncover that unless you give them time to open up. Now, the better you get at questions, the better you get at answers. The better you get at questions, the better you get at answers. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you ask the right questions, the answers that you're going to get are going to be much more meaningful to you and your success. Much more meaningful. So the final piece to this sales success mindset shift that you need to make, force yourself to ask more questions. Force yourself to ask more questions. Now, why is that a piece to resetting your mindset? Because if you are asking questions and truly allowing your prospect or your client to answer, you are putting their position, their perspective, their priorities front and center. The process itself is resetting it. It truly is. Now, the only thing that you can do wrong at that point is to ignore what they share with you. But assuming you don't do that, if you ask good questions and they start sharing, it will automatically reset your sales success mindset. Now, you can still go down the wrong path. How? Well, by not really paying attention to what they say and only focusing on what you want to say, or not even acknowledging it as something that's important and not uncovering it. But what I'm going to tell you is the process automatically and organically shifts towards being reset and focused around the right things if you ask questions. All you need to do is follow the cues that the questions give you. You ask a question and they give you a very specific answer, and that answer requires some clarification. Ask for clarification. Now, why is that important? Because it will tell you more. It will give you more to work with, but it's all about them. It may not change anything that you were going to say to them, but just them opening up, talking about it, and acknowledging it. And more importantly, to this episode, you asking the question and acknowledging it, the more likely you're going to reset your sales success mindset. And here's the final piece to your sales success mindset. I want you to go into every interaction that you have with somebody, no matter what type of a meeting it is. And I want you to analyze how much time you're spending talking versus how much time your prospects are. And it doesn't matter if it's a first appointment, second appointment, if they're an existing client, whatever. You should be making sure that your prospects and clients are doing the most of the talking. Now, how does that impact your mindset? I will tell you, there is a ripple effect that occurs. See, if you focus on making them do the majority of the talking, you're going to find that it aligns, as long as you're acknowledging it and following those leads, it aligns you towards making it all about them. It takes whatever you were going to say and puts it in the backseat because you're acknowledging what they are bringing up, what's most important. It puts the pressure on them. It takes the pressure off of you. Now, why is that critical? Well, it goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. See, we're all under pressure. We're all under these stressors of life. You can actually organically reset those things just in how you communicate with people, but you have to do it consistently. Now, how does this reset you going forward? Because once you do that through a couple of interactions, you're going to become addicted to doing it. You're going to become comfortable again with doing it. You're going to realize that that approach was much more impactful than anything that you were doing before. And here's the trick. Here's the little bit of secret potion in this whole thing. When you follow that approach, your prospects and clients more than likely will open up and share more things with you. And many times those things are all that you need to know to win their business. They'll tell you what it will take. They'll show you here's what they need. They'll tell you how important something is. You just have to pay attention to the cues and make sure that you're taking their lead and not your own. Your sales success mindset is incredibly important to your overall sales success. And there's a lot of layers to it, a lot of nuances, a lot more than I can get into in one single episode. But I'm going to tell you the little tips that I've given you here today can be incredibly impactful for you and your success. So we've gone through a lot of stuff. I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. See you soon. And we're back. This is Joe Beck, founder of the Sales Activist. And I was so excited about this episode. We covered a lot of material today. We talked about the importance of resetting your sales success mindset, making it all about your prospects and clients. We talked about writing down and listing what they get, and more importantly, the impact that it has. There's a reason why I told you to write it down. It will open your eyes and give you a more important focus to help you reset that particular sales success mindset. We talked about listening more than talking. And the reason is it helps you get all the tips you need to understand what your clients are looking for and the success that they need to have for you to win their business. Pay attention to the cues. Make sure you listen and don't miss out, because there are so many different things that come from having the right sales success mindset. If I can help you in any way with selling, whether it's resetting your sales success mindset or some other way, it would be my great pleasure to help you. You can follow me on social media, or you could just text the word sales to the number 409-509-7355 to connect with my digital assistant, and we can get some time scheduled in my calendar to talk about sales in your business. This is Joe Beck, founder of the Sales Activist, and we'll see you soon. Take care.